Hello and welcome to our Truth series.
Hello.
I'm Corinna.
And I'm a twin sister, Isabel. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you. So, today we wanted to make a video about how we see what's happening in the world right now.
Or rather, how we deal with fear and anxiety that might come up because of what's happening in the world.
Because the way we see it, there's a lot of energy that we are getting. Lots of upgrades and things are being washed up. Things of the past, of this being another life or this life, are coming up, at least in our world, and meaning therefore also in our surroundings. And so if you feel that way too, that you are struggling like we have been with either physical or emotional stuff, here are some tools of how to...
that we are using that helped us to get through this, to get through the anxiety, through the fears, through the pain, that just help us to go back on track.
Yeah, of how to overcome that stuff. So here it is. And we made a list to make this a little bit easier. So here's the first one.
Monitoring thoughts. Yeah, that's a big one, which we have been doing for a while, and Corinna and I are helping each other to remind ourselves that we do want to monitor what we're saying, but also what we're thinking. It's super easy to go on this spiral of negative thinking, and so monitoring to just stop right there. When I notice that there's a negative thought, I stop myself and think of something positive, something that I'm thankful for. And also this is another thing when it comes to any emotional pain or even physical pain. When we accept that we have it and then we go with it, and I keep telling them, I've just noticed this, when I kept telling myself, oh it hurts so much, it just I noticed at some point, wait a second, if I keep saying that, it's not going to help me heal, it's just going to keep me in this where it hurts, so to stop myself and to stop myself to not say this, okay, don't stop saying this, just remember to feel good, because that's what I want. So I feel great, even if it doesn't feel like this, but monitoring thoughts.
Yes, and while we are monitoring our thoughts, we are being gentle about it. It's okay that our minds go somewhere else, but we just bring ourselves back, and the more we are paying attention to it, the faster we can bring ourselves back. So that's part number one. Part number two, writing it down. Yes, that's a big one for me. I love to write, and I think it helps a lot. Sometimes there's a lot going on in the mind, and so it's very helpful to write it down. And then I often see that whatever's going on in the mind, once it's in front of me, there's much more clarity than there was before. So that's definitely one that helps a lot.
And helps you a lot, because I'm not really doing it. Like whatever resonates, right?
Yep, whatever works for you will be the right thing to do. That's the number one anyway. Don't listen to anything but your heart. We think that your heart knows it all.
We think that nobody knows it better than yourself. Like all the answers are within us, Nobody can tell me what is the right thing to do. I need to know this for myself, listen in, and find the answer inside.
That's right. If it feels right, it's probably right. Okay, number 3.
Embrace versus resent. So embracing whatever is, when I had physical pain too, but it's also the same with emotional, when I feel like, oh, my mind's going crazy, just to embrace that, allow myself to have it, and just almost loving it, actually it's really embracing it. And sometimes I imagine that I'm embracing it, and you had that too with physical pain, where you were embracing the pain like it's a friend, and I embrace this. Okay, like I'm going through something emotionally, I can tell, but I'm embracing that I'm going through it because I know that this is just getting me higher. Like once I'm through it, I'm just going to rise like a phoenix, once I burn this, because I can embrace it. Versus resentment. Resentment means, I push it away. I don't want to deal with this. This is not real. I don't want this. These kind of thinking, we believe, is just creating more of it. So it's always really about appreciation, which equals love in my understanding, which means embracing it.
Yeah, and there's something that I want to add that we didn't even write down, but I'm going to add it right now. Water. It's so incredibly powerful. So we drink a lot of water, and recently I noticed I'm kind of like having these weird cravings of my childhood when I drank a lot of soda, and then I notice how very dehydrated I am, and then I drink water again, and I'm like, whoa, there it is, there's that good feeling. Anyway, so next, Accept help. That's a big one. I realized that with Isabel actually, because even though we are really close and we are very trusting towards each other, there are moments where we have a hard time accepting each other's help because sometimes the ego kicks in and the heart doesn't hear it anymore. It's the ego is so much louder that the voice in the head just takes over, and then it's not possible to accept the help.
Ego, or it could be insecurities. You know, I notice that sometimes I'm having a hard time talking about things that are bothering me because, what is it? I don't want to put somebody else in it or bring somebody else in it, or I'm not even sure if is this really real what I'm experiencing, especially when it's an emotional thing, you know, something in my head. Is it just in my head? But expressing it also is a little bit like, well, come out, you know, so I can, and then accept the help, you know, of a loving person around you to
accept the help from those you trust, obviously, right? Or those you have the trust in your heart about.
That's what helps us. I mean, if you're super introverted and, you know, it's really hard, and maybe it doesn't help you. Whatever. Again, whatever resonates.
Next, Epsom salt. And I wrote that one in German too, just in case you don't know and you are German. Bittersalz. And that's specifically for muscle pain. If you have any physical body issues, that is the magic potion. I keep saying that to the people around me who are having physical pains, and when they actually do it, they come back and agree with me. So not to say that you will, but if you do have muscle ache, it is definitely worth checking out Epsom salt.
This video is not just emotional pain, it's also physical pain.
Yeah, whatever pain.
Right?
No, we want you to feel good like we want to feel good, and here are the tools, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, next.
Our tools.
Whose tools would they be? Of course they're ours, because we're doing it. Okay, here we go. Food. That's a big one too. Monitoring the food that we take in. That was a very interesting way of saying it. Healthy stuff, basically. And we believe that everything is energy, right? And so food is energy too. And if it's processed stuff or sugary stuff or whatever, then it's not really supporting the alignment that's happening right now.
Right. What do we believe is healthy food? Anything that comes from Mother Earth, and best if it wasn't touched by humans, other than picked or, you know, brought into a store.
Yeah, like natural things.
Organic, we eat that, at least, you know, we believe it. I guess blessing food can help too. This is sometimes when I have something and I feel like, ooh, I don't know where this is from, blessing it just to give it a different kind of energy.
Yeah, that's a really good one too. Next.
Meditation, that's a big one for me. That's something that I do daily. Or at least, you know, that's the goal sometimes. I skip a day, or even two. My goodness! But I feel much better when I do it, and what that means is just I am sitting in silence and I'm concentrating on my breathing, and of course there's a lot of thoughts that are coming up, and I keep reminding myself very lovingly to just breathe, and then I feel like I'm just watching myself as the breath goes in and the breath goes out, and I'm noticing how I get calmer, and I get a lot of insights when I do it, and why I feel like it helps is because it cuts me off of the thoughts that are consistently around me, so I can be more aligned with my higher self and hear my higher self better.
Mm-hmm. Next, crystals and gemstones. I love those more and more. Call them
Sweet
our little friends. Yes, let's share these. I'm so in love with this stuff, you guys. Crystals and gemstones, very helpful to the energies again. Now, coming back to the belief that we are all energy, then there's energies in crystals. And if you look that up on the internet, you will find a plethora of different crystals and gemstones, and also their attributes. So the things that they can do for you. And a lot of that stuff is helping in physical areas, if it's your blood or your kidney or whatever, or your skin, anything. And then others are also for emotional support, or even like keeping negative energy away, you know, that kind of stuff. Fun. Love it. Did you want to say anything about crystals? No, what?
You said it all. Yeah, laughter, super, super important to us. That when we are feeling down, when I notice, okay, I'm really feeling down, then I'm watching something funny on YouTube, or I'm trying to find a funny movie. That's most of the funny movies, the good ones, it seems like I've seen already. So please, people, put out more funny movies. You know, laughter,
Stand-up comedy works too, but that's more my thing. Isabel doesn't really care for that as much, but
Yeah.
there can be some funny
Yeah.
stuff out
Haha,
there.
we love
if
it.
that's
We're laughing it
something.
away.
Okay, next. Imagine light.
Yeah, that's also something that I do right after meditation. I'm imagining light that is coming from the source through my higher chakras into my crown chakra, through all of my chakras into planet Earth. I'm anchoring this light, and it is not only to clear and cleanse my chakras, it's also to infuse me with that light. It's I imagine myself in the end that I'm showered in that light, completely covered, filled and drenched is what I'm saying. And there's specifically two lights that I've been working for years with. Sometimes the other lights change, green light, blue light, whatever. But two lights that are specifically always there. The number one is the violet. I started to now start with the violet flame of healing.
Which I call the purple flame of healing, but whatever works.
Yeah.
Purple, violet.
Right. So it's that violet light, or purple light, if you want. It's a flame, and sometimes I can hear it burn as it burns through my body, and it burns away, transmutes all those things that no longer serve me. When it's pain, then it transmutes the pain into trust or love or pure divine love and light, which is the next light, really. It's a white light. So I do the purple light first, and it really goes into all of my cells of my body and my aura, my energy field, in this and all versions of me, since I believe we're multidimensional. There is more than one version. So it covers all versions of me in the violet flame of healing, and then in pure divine love and light, which is purifying me to my original self, which is pure divine love and light. Actually, that's how I see it and how we believe it, right?
Mm-hmm. Next, trust and believe in the moment being love, and that anything is possible. Yes, that is a big one for me, and that's why I wrote it. I do think that sometimes I'm being confronted with a situation that I don't care for, if that is a situation or a person, whatever, and then I remind myself that I really do trust and believe in life being love, and then it helps me to not judge, because that's actually a big one. I don't think we wrote that down. Judgment. That's not very supportive to anyone, the way that I see it, because it allows something to be wrong. And the way that I see life, it is all with its perfect play. It's all in perfect place, even though we don't understand the bigger picture very often. But the only thing we really have control over is ourselves. So again, if I look at it like this is the way it's meant to be, and anything is possible, I like that one too, because it allows everything, there's no judgment. It comes back to no judgment, really. I guess I should have written this. No judgment. Okay. Next. That's big too. I mean, I guess they're all big, but nature is such a good supporter of the energetic field. I always notice, sometimes I feel like, oh my God, I need to take a walk. And then I walk for like 20 minutes, and I walk around, and I look at the leaves, and then I look at all the nature around me, and then hopefully and happily some creatures or animals come along my path, and it just makes me really happy. And then I come home and I feel completely different.
Yes, I have the same too. Sometimes I really feel like I need to go out into nature, connect with nature. Connecting is this, to me, it's the appreciation of it. I see it. I see the trees, and I see the leaves, and I see the flowers, and the little creatures, like she's saying. and then I notice how much better I feel. And as we understand, we are part of nature, and we're part of Gaia, this earth, this Mother Earth,
which completely loves us.
Yes, so the loving it back, brings peace to us.
Yes. Next, frequency music. So Isabel and I were talking about that, about being frequencies and music, because it's kind of two different things, I guess.
Well, because
did you put that next one over there? Okay, let's start with this one. We have frequency and music, and then here we go.
Well, this is 40 to 100 hertz is what I listened to specifically a lot when I was in very, very in physical pain. And I just listened to this for days, and it helped me, aside from also breathing in light and being surrounded by light and embracing the pain and all of this. But this was a big one that I listened to specifically. There's a bunch of other hertz, that you can find on YouTube.
Well, this one, if you believe it, it helps to deal with what we say is happening right now, where we're being raised into a higher existence, a lighter existence, higher frequency, fifth dimension, if you've heard of that. So that will help you to deal with it. And now coming back to frequency music for a second, because that's also whatever music feels good to you. But, make sure, like when you listen to music, subconsciously that stuff will sink in. So if the lyrics aren't actually supportive lyrics to your life or anybody's, then it's actually having an effect on you, if you believe it or not. So,
That's also why we hear our truth, with the very inspiring or positive lyrics. You'll never hear anything we say that will put you down. It's meant to support you, even though we don't even mean to write that
not
stuff.
like we try to go for that,
like
but
channeled.
that's how it happens.
We hear it out there somewhere.
Okay. Affirmations. Oh, I love those. I learned that like 11 years ago now in my car accident, and I started to do them, and I still do them, and I really feel a huge difference within who I was and who I am within all these years. Basically, that is just saying the things that you'd like to have, and I say them 3 times out loud and 3 times in my mind, and I imagine them while I say them. That is a big one, to imagine whatever you're saying, because that again has a lot of power.
And affirmations, the way I see it, it's the things we tell ourselves. And there's a lot of negative programming due to music and bad examples that are surrounding us all the time. So reprogramming it and saying positive things, the things that we really want. So you start saying them, maybe it doesn't even feel right, but after saying them often enough, they start to become reality.
Yes, they become it. I love it. Palo Santo and or sage. So Palo Santo is a wood from like South America, and I just looked that up a few days ago because I actually wanted to see what is the difference between Palo Santo and sage. And the way it seems is that sage actually clears the space of any energy, negative or positive. It just clears it all. So if you do use that, it is suggested that you then burn some incense or something so that you can put positivity back into your space, where Palo Santo only clears negative, which I don't know, maybe that's why I'm so drawn to it, because I'm so okay with anything positive around me. It doesn't have to go away, it can just stay. So and also I love the smell of it. It's a wood, you basically burn it and then blow it out. It's nice and smoky, and then you smudge, as they call it, yourself or your space. And the way that I do it is I always do it with my aura. I cleanse my aura. So I start at the top and I go over my hands and down to the feet, bottom of the feet, and then imagine myself being centered into the earth again. Okay, so now we have one last one,
which might just be the biggest not her. Yeah, well, breathe, that's also something that I see, that just breathe through it. Anybody who had a child knows how to deal with these contractions, breathing through it. So breathing through the pain, breathing through the anxiety, breathing through the fears, just keep breathing and allowing myself to breathe in light, or allowing myself to breathe in that health that I want, or that beautiful whatever it is, without thinking of what I don't want, just breathing in, just keep breathing, deep breathing, deep breathing.
3 times, by the way, is always a very powerful number. I like that you just brought up having a child, because I keep saying that to people that I talk to in my surroundings that are having physical or emotional challenges, that it's like birth, I say, because when you're having a baby, it's 9 months of all kinds of craziness, and then the end of it is even more crazy, I think. Not that I experienced it, but it was close enough to me that I could see it. Thank God I didn't have that kind of pain. But then again, I also believe I'm multidimensional, so I've had children before too, so whatever. But still, what did I want to say with that? To like look at it like we're going through a birth, and sometimes that doesn't feel so right, and it does all kinds of things to our bodies and to our minds, but the end result we know is magical, and it's so worth it. And the other visual that I'd like to give you, that I keep saying to people, is when we jump, we first go down, in order to go up. So that's it.
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully that was of support to you guys. Maybe something stood out to you, and try it out, because you never know. If you don't feel so well, you might just feel better.
And the way we see it, you're meant to be healthy and happy.
Yes.
We are all meant to be healthy and happy. So whatever is in our ways is for us to clear. And at least that's how I see it. Anything that comes is for me to clear so I can grow beyond it.
Trust.
So happy growing.
Yes. We love
Sending
you.
lots of love.
Thank you.
So,
See you next time. Bye.
What? Did I want to say happy 2020 because, we're posting this today. It's the last day of 2019.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you
magical
watch
year.
it, but you might already be in the magical year. What's a magical
Well,
2020?
you guys, we can all be very excited to be alive right now, because lots is coming. Lots of beauty, if you believe it. Okay, bye.